What's going on, everybody? It's another WNBA recap. This is the recap of the games that happened July 28th. It's a little bit technically July 29th, but you guys know what we're talking about. We got three games to go over. One of them happened earlier this evening, which was the Mystics taking on. They took on the Connecticut Sun, who they played in the finals last year, which is something we all here remember pretty well. It wasn't obviously not the same folks on the floors that were on the floor in the finals, but the Mystics outlasted this year's Mystics outlasted this year's Sun 94-89. The Mystics shot 48 from the floor. They had 15 turnovers. We already know what it is. You know what it is, right? With the Mystics, it's usually a different person every night. Um, and in Tebow's offense, everyone's a threat. Tonight, game one was Maisha Allen. Tonight is Ariel Powers. She got a career high 27 points, had 3 assists. Maisha still had 16 and 8. The Suns shot 46% from the floor, but much of that was pretty much DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. Good Lord, they went to work. 29 and 9 for Bonner, 28 and 11 for Thomas. You guys want to ask you just your thoughts on it real quick before I get into it?
Um, Mystics got firepower, man. Like you're going to have to deal with them. Just forget about who's not there. Worry about the people that's playing, please. Or you gonna have a long night. Like you said, on Sunday it was Maisha with the breakout game. Tonight it was Ariel. And Emma's still on the team. Ariel Atkins still on the team. Leilani Mitchell's on the team. You got to come to play against them every night. Like they're the defending champs. They've reached that mountaintop. They know what it tastes like. They're hungry. Coach T is going to have them ready. So let's just give them the respect they deserve before you have issues on game night.
Like, I guess that's the craziest thing to me. We're going to talk about another one of these former champions later on this evening, but people kind of just like throw that away, like that culture, winning one, the mentality doesn't matter. The pedigree that comes from being a part of a championship team, all those things got thrown out the window. Like, it literally felt like everybody got the ranking just simply by stars to some degree. And then you had something crazier happen when, I'll share that with the next game, but just some of the things, I just want to share with you guys at least things that, a couple talking points for me. We already talked about balance, Washington's balance attack. Equal opportunity offense, like you just mentioned, it doesn't matter. Like, I thought what you said was perfect. I don't care about who's not there. They can give you more than enough trouble however you want it. However, it's kind of like whatever you choose to take away, somebody else is going to burn you. Man, so 4 of their 5 starters double figures tonight, and Leilani missed it by a basket. She had 8 points. We mentioned Hines Allen. Ariel Atkins had 16, along with Maisha, and Maisha also had a team high 8 rebounds. Washington, one of the things we talked about, at least concerned about, was how they were doing the glass. They grabbed 35 rebounds against the Sun. That's back-to-back games with at least 35 boards. Keep in mind, we know what they're missing from a size standpoint in the post. But last season, whenever the Mystics had 35 plus, 14 and 1. Little numbers. Another thing, and not you guys are gonna get sick and tired of me harping on this, and been screaming this since we knew the season was in fact going to be played. Washington's wings, their guards, it's more than just your bigs that rebound. So we mentioned their 35 rebounds that night. 20 of them came from wings and guards. 20 of them. Kiara Leslie was in the game for like 8 minutes or something and pulled down 4 boards. Lonnie Mitchell had 4 boards. And the thing I guess I took from them tonight is they had a lot of foul trouble in the first half. And again, talking about that just that mindset, the mentality they have coming off a championship. That game could have got out the way early, got away from them early when they got in foul trouble like that. Maisha had 3 fouls. I think Leilani had 3 fouls. And they're like 10 deep. And Tiana Hawkins isn't available yet. So that could have went all types of crazy ways. And then it was just fun watching yet another player step up when their name was called, as the game called for it. I guess that's the scariest part is you don't know what to go to take away. Emma only had 12 or something like that, but I think she had 8 assists. that ball's moving, and um, they play. It feels like they play a little bit faster this year
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
again, talking about their wings, when they get the boards, man, they're gone. As for Connecticut, uh, it's only 2 games. Not writing them off at all. We definitely saw that Dewana Bonner got in her bag tonight. She got comfortable. One of the things that I did like, saw a couple of times, was late in the game. You saw some AT Bonner like screen rolls, which is just absolutely dangerous because they both can handle. They're both equally dangerous as the screener or as the ball handler. Because do you leave Bonner and let AT, aka Baby Braun, come crashing down into the paint, or if AT's the screener, do you just let her go and Bonner has the ball? Do you go under? You know what I'm saying? One bad
Yeah,
decision, everything goes left. So, some of the Connecticut's perimeter players haven't really gotten going yet. And you could tell one of the things that's clear that they miss right now, Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams was something. Anytime stuff got rough, she can go get a basket. So could Jonquil. Right now, obviously, Dewana can go get a bucket, but they always had multiple people last year that could just go get a manufacture a bucket, stop a
right.
run by themselves. And not to say that some of the players that are on the roster won't be able to get to that point, but not yet. And that's why, tonight, if Bonner doesn't go off like she did, this game's not even where it's at. Like, she had to go off, but that's the luxury of having that, right? Like, you can have an offense, but sometimes you got to hit the button. She's cooking. Let her rock. But what's important is Washington's 2-0. For the first game. Second game is on you, sir.
Oh man, this this didn't go how I expected. LA Sparks and Chicago Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago got them out the way, 96-78. It's man, the first half pretty much went how LA's game against Phoenix went, closely contested. They went into the half with a 4-point deficit. Chicago was up by as much as 13 in the first half. LA closed the gap. Brittany Sykes kind of paced them and kept them in it. But yeah, then they got a little bit of their own third quarter medicine from the other day.
Mm.
Chicago just came out the break and put it on them. A couple things from that game. Diamond DeShield, she's still on minutes restriction, dealing with the knee issue. But in the minutes she played, it didn't look like it was bothering her at all. She was moving really well. She was quick. She had bursts. Um, she was getting by people, finishing at the basket. So yeah, once she gets 100% healthy and James Wade can fully unleash her, that's just going to be a whole other set of issues to deal with. Um, I mentioned Sykes earlier. She's pretty much the lone bright spot for LA today. Echo was quiet. Candace Parker was quiet. Chelsea Gray, Simone Augustus, all of them, they didn't have the showing they had the other day. Which is and what was weird was LA looked like the flat and fatigue team when Chicago was the team on the 1 day's rest. So that was interesting. But I don't know. Maybe it's just they just carrying momentum from a tough win and really just being out there. So you know how those things go. We'll have plenty of opportunities to see teams playing on 1 day's rest this year because there's it's like say like 74% of the
Mm-hmm.
games or something on 1 day. But yeah, second half was all Chicago. They played offense by committee. Ball was moving. It was finding people. People were unselfish. And like once people are making shots, then it becomes easier to make that next pass.
Yo.
And that's what Chicago did. It man, it was just a well-oiled machine out there. And we mentioned it on the Focus show earlier. Cardale in his preview emphasized Chicago needed to step it up on defense on the perimeter, and that they did. They were very annoying, very harassing, a lot of active hands, and they crashed the boards. Vegas for most of that game on Sunday they took advantage of Chicago inside, and and we would assume that LA would do kind of do the same thing. But Chicago was up to the challenge. They didn't let them bully them. They fought tooth and nail, and they got a big win. Um, shoot, they got vets. They got their core from last year. Going down the stretch, they up 21, and Vandersloot's still out there taking charges. So yeah, that just shows you where they are. They definitely want to avenge the heartbreak they had last year. from that that 40 footer that Yerka Hamby hit. But Zuri Stevens, another big showing. This is going to be a breakout year for her. Like the first two games, she just looks like she's ready to, to kind of step her game up and take on a little bit more for them, and that's gonna be huge for them moving out throughout the year. But yeah, Chicago, I mean, they doing what they do. They a veteran team. They squeaked out a tough win on Sunday, and they came out and just blasted LA today. So another team that's that's here, and you're gonna have to deal with. That's the thing about the WNBA. People don't take into account. It's only 12 teams, man. So you might get one or two teams throughout the years that's gonna pretty much be your bottom feeders. But even then, with those one or two teams, they can sneak up on you any night. So
Facts.
yeah, man, just everybody just be ready for a dogfight each and every night.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, like in this one, was we got to see the difference in LA's the the athleticism they injected on their wing against Phoenix, right? Um, you know, again, one of the things I was talking about the other day, Chicago doesn't have an issue with athleticism outside of what Quiggs and Vandersloot. After
Yeah,
that, we're talking about elite level athletes. So, like you said, it was a poor showing against Vegas in terms of the rebounding and whatnot. Some of it's just because Diamond wasn't out there and everything else. But like I think tonight, Copper had 9 boards. Like you can use that athleticism like that wherever, like it, across so many different facets of the game. That's what we saw tonight. Like there was a couple times, Candace and Necker, they get the board or whatever, and it's not necessarily the big that's you're waiting to the big that's bothering you initially. It's a
right.
pesky little wing, but Copper might be 6 foot with bounce, right? Then here comes Diamond, 6 plus bounce. Gabby, right under 6, dumb bounce. Just all in your space, taking it away. And that's why they're so annoying. And what I enjoy about them is just that the positional versatility. Like, I still don't know what position Gabby plays, nor do I think it matters, right? um, they're just kind of like the three of them are out there, and it just is what it is. And again, shout out to Cheyenne Parker, saw her step out, hit a three tonight. Continue working on her game, but Chicago was really annoying last year, man. And I don't mean annoying in a bad way. I mean annoying like they were young and you could kind of see where they were going. And
Right.
the thing with the other two, not counting Diamond, I think again Diamond's a little bit more polished in terms of going to get a bucket. Is when Copper and Williams are hitting threes, you are in so much trouble because when you got to come out, they're walking by whatever closeout you have. Like your only saving grace is the fact that, well, I'll just sag off and you won't hit it. But
Right.
when they're raining down threes as a team, then you can't put extra attention on their elite level sharpshooters and Sluty and Quiggs. It's so shout out to them for where they're going, man. And they did that tonight. They didn't have the use of Dolson tonight either, if memory serves correct. Last game of the night before we get out of here, Seattle, boy. First off, they beat they beat the Lynx 90-66. Pretty much courtesy of that 28-17 run in the third quarter. But first off, congratulations to Sylvia Fowles, becoming the league's all-time leading rebounder with a defensive board like literally right at the end of the first half. And coincidentally, that was literally the last moment Minnesota was really in the game. Was right there at the end of the first half. In the third quarter, Seattle did what Seattle does, and like Minnesota did a great job in the first half of not turning the ball over, right? And we saw them do a great job of that in their game on Sunday because they started turning the ball over a little bit and then they kind of tightened
Yeah.
up. But the tough part with Seattle is like they execute so freaking well offensively. Like even when you know what I'm saying, like you're running your sets and working hard to get a bucket. That ball is just hopping around, people getting open threes. The two-woman game between Sue and Stewie is some some destroy your worlds type ish, right? Like it's just ridiculous. They can get whatever they want out of it, and you never feel like the defense really has a chance at stopping whichever option is available to them. And that's just what the two win the game with them. But yeah, for Minnesota, it was just you can't turn the ball over that much against a team that plays at that pace. And good gosh, they're deep. The Mystics kind of experienced this that year when Emma wasn't here, and they made the run to the finals, right? Uh,
Yeah, 2018.
right, they make the run to the finals. Elaine is banged up. Emma's not here. Um, but all the players on that team, they took a step forward that year, even though they lost because Seattle ran through them, right? Can't ever tell that part of the story. Can't bring up 2018 without bringing up the Browns. These are facts. But then the following year, what do we see after going to the finals? Almost everybody on Washington, right? The level of play increased, and that's what made them so scary. They got the depth got that much more dangerous. We saw one of the better bench units in the league. And last year, no Sue, no Stewie. Canada's up and down here and there. Natasha Howard goes nuts, right? And then you go to, looking through two games tonight, bro, what they bring off the bench is ridiculous. It's absolute nuts. What did you think about that one?
Yeah, man, it's just a whole lot of Sue and Stewie. Like you getting to inject those two back into your lineup after a year of them resting their legs. Like they're one of the favorites for a reason. Like I know they were talked about a whole lot leading up to the season, but their resume speaks for itself. But yeah, like you brought up, the turnovers just do Minnesota. Really can't do that against a team like Seattle. They're smart, they're experienced, they execute well. You don't need to give them extra chances to score because they're going to do enough of that on their own. So yeah, a tough one for Minnesota. They just got beat up. Seattle was pretty physical with them. I could see it affected Lexi Brown and Krista Dangerfield.
Yeah,
They just kind of got into them and it rattled them a little bit. They're both kind of finding their way. Of course, Krista's a rookie, and Lexi's kind of she's in a position where she's got to step up a little bit. At least till Odyssey Sims gets back, if she comes back. So yeah, just a learning experience. They'll grow from it. Got to see Mad Kiki for the first time tonight.
yeah, yeah.
So you know, it was pretty much garbage time, but at least she got some breakout there.
Yeah, and the
But
other thing, I guess just wanted to look out for with Minnesota is Collier's going through it right now. Just you're a little bit up, you're a little bit higher up on the opposition scouting report right now, and this is what that looks like. I don't want anybody to think it's a huge indictment on her or anything, but this is part of being in that league. You do damage last year. The last thing they're about to let you do is you're not about to be a factor. Like we saw what Seattle did to poor Ionescu, Ionescu, her first game. They were just like, so you're not going to be a factor tonight. We're going to just take you out and we're going to blitz the heck out of you. No fun for you. Anytime you look up, here's another player. Oh, look, it's another trap. Is it a trap? Is it not a trap? With Fees, every time she caught it, people just lurking, waiting. She got a couple opportunities to score, but it's what hurts them right now is like, yeah, you got Sil down there, but uh, for everything that Fees does, it's not like having um, they don't have another perimeter player to kind of really open things up for them. So it's
right,
like you can still sag in on Fees and really bother uh, sagging on Sil and still really bother Fees at the same time. Um, Odyssey was able to kind of make up for some of that last year because you couldn't really stay in front of her. And I think it'll get a little bit better, like, with Shanice Johnson gets more and more comfortable coming back, her first year back from her injury. But that's just something with Minnesota where, like, I feel like when they play these teams that get up and down, it's going to be tough for them if they turn the ball over. Because just as currently constructed, unless you flip like the kids start getting a lot of tick, they're not physically able to just go up and down like that right now.
yeah, yeah. And he's got to figure that out. Like you said, it's just growing pains.
Yep.
You came in your rookie year, made a splash. Now people are looking at you like a week out. So, so yeah, it's just step your game up. Put some more wrinkles in it. Don't be so easy to figure out. And then still do what you do well. It's not it's nothing to just kind of go crazy about. But yeah, it's life in the second year. So sophomore season started a little rocky for her, but again, it's only 2 games, and she's super talented. So yeah, I think she's gonna be able to turn that around.
Yeah, and I guess before we get out of here, man, that Thursday night showdown between Seattle and Washington is gonna be fun.
Oh man,
It's gonna be fun, no matter how it plays out. That's gonna be fun. Because even from a physicality standpoint, like Washington struggles with it, but they don't struggle. They don't wilt from it like they used to. Like what I'm
right?
saying. You
Yeah,
remember former iterations like 3 years ago? What? Not Minnesota, but like what happened to LA tonight, where like Chicago just OD physical, and they kind of like wilted because we saw LA do that against the Dream a couple years ago, right? The Dream
right.
kind of got the banging on them with Breland and E. Williams down there. It was like, nah, nothing's happening in the thing. Like it's gonna cost something. You have to pay something to get them through these parts. So like I don't think the physicality is gonna be too much of a thing for them, but it's gonna be some high level basketball. Like the spacing on both ends is about to be nuts. Uh, yeah, it should be fun. Got some other fun matchups coming this week. But did you have anything else to add, Ray?
Nah, man, just another solid night. Just happy that basketball is back.
Man, you say that now. I'm gonna check in with you on one of these. Like next Wednesday on one of these, we gonna open up. How's it feel, Ray? Just remember this moment. Well, thank y'all for hanging with us. We'll get at y'all like literally tomorrow night. So we got 3 more games tomorrow. So looking forward to checking those out. This is WNBA Outlook, the recap. This is happening daily, and we appreciate you guys, and we will see you soon.